It's poppin' time. Welcome to another episode of Off the Rack. I'm Sal.
I'm Tiffany.
We're going to be talking about books that came out last week, comic books, that is, and then recommend them or not, depending on how we felt about them. And then we're going to talk about books that are coming out this week that we think that you should check out. So I think you should stick around. It's going to be a fun conversation all about the books that we read this week.
Yes.
We should also mention this show is sponsored by viewers like you. If you're watching the show live, you can sponsor today's show and keep the riffraff out. All you got to do to sponsor us is joining our Patreon at patreon.com/ComicPop, or you could use a super chat here live right now, and then you could ask a question or comment. We'll read it here on the show, and then you're part of the show forever. And that's a little back and forth there.
Nice.
Yeah, I think so.
We love it.
We do. It keeps the conversation lively and allows for you to allow your voice to be heard.
Absolutely.
Like Brian Rollins here says, All Out Avengers has been the best Avengers in a while, and it's this past issue has Spiderman acting the most like himself in a long time. ComicPop rules. Thanks, Brian.
Nice.
Yeah, that's right. Unfortunately, it is drawn by Greg Land, so that is that's a shame.
You're not a fan.
I'm not a fan.
I'm not a Land fan.
I'm not a Land fan. I'm a classic Land fan. I liked it better before you started tracing everything. But yeah, man. There's also some other things we need to take care of. Tiffany has a package here that she's going to open right here on the program.
No. Every time I open one of these, it's something like this, or this tiny pariah who I just threw on the floor. I'm not even going to pick him up.
Yep, Red goes to somewhere.
I
don't know where you put him.
He's somewhere. I did not get rid of him. I would never do that.
No,
honestly.
I know.
No, he is somewhere.
Yeah.
I can't remember if he's not on one of the shelves over there, or if he's in.
He used to be on a shelf, so I don't know.
So he's probably there. He's just plotting my untimely demise.
Yep. Maybe he'll use his army of super apes to do something.
I saw this box over there, and I was like, you know what? No, they sent me everything already, so we're good, right? Like, there couldn't be something else.
No. Well, Ray Farr says, ComicPop, woo! It was my birthday Friday, and there was only one present I wanted, and I want Sal to do the world-famous ComicPop dance. Thanks in advance. Well, Ray, happy birthday to you. I hope you had an awesome birthday. Had a great time, spent time with friends and family. I am no one's dancing monkey, so I will not be providing a dance, but I will wish you a happy birthday.
Happy
have
birthday.
A great, fantastic time, my friend.
I'll do it. There's no world-famous ComicPop dance. It's just me dancing.
It's true.
All right, this is awesome.
Yeah.
This is awesome. This is dope. This one right here. This is a winner. This is 100% a winner. It's Husk.
Yay, it's Husk.
It's Husk.
Ripping her own flesh off.
I love it. Just going for it.
Right?
She can make a whole backpack out of that.
Yeah.
Just
out of her body.
Yeah, just like a whole Husk line of backpacks and handbags.
That's right.
Just move over, Gucci. Here comes Husk.
Nice.
I love it. This is awesome. This one's great. That, not great. Those two over there, terrible. No. Husk, 10 out of 10.
I know.
Would Husk again.
I know how much you love Husk.
I have a fascination with Husk. I really do. And yet, I know nothing about her, really.
It's true.
She's
not very prominent in the Krakoa era, I gotta say.
She just fascinates me.
She had a big role in the Gen X. We should
be
reading Generation X. We have the whole original series of it in trade, so maybe I'll give that to you.
Yeah. All right.
This
is all right. This is all right. I did not know what I was gonna open up to.
I know. I did. I didn't. Excited.
I honestly was like, what thing am I not thinking of that I don't like?
Right.
Nothing, apparently.
No, it's just Husk.
Nice little card with it and everything.
Yeah.
I love this. Yay, Husk. Welcome to the team.
Yeah, Tiffany's team.
Paige Guthrie. Wait, is she related to
Yes.
Oh. Wow. I'm learning things.
Yeah.
I remembered that all on my own.
It's true.
Skin form healing.
Yeah. So I read Action Comics 1051 from Dan Jurgens, Philip Kennedy Johnson, Leah Williams, with art by Marguerite Sauvage, Raifa Sandoval, Lee Weeks. And I got to tell you, it's a fun issue. It was a cute little story that, a number of stories, but, giving you an idea about what the Superman family is all about. I think it's setting the stage for Action Comics' new direction as a book. Fun to see the family interact. It was interesting because like John has John's had a fully developed personality, and it's interesting to see him kind of like react to the like ever expanding, ever widening Superman family in a as a kind of proxy for the reader.
Okay.
Because some of us like skipped the Warworld saga because like I couldn't care less, and I couldn't be bothered. And I know that like I've invited about at least 4 comments from people being like, I can't believe you skipped the Warworld saga. The Warworld saga is one of the best Superman stories of all time. You really do need to give it a shot. I understand you don't really care for it, but I really, really need you to read it because I need to just justify my interests here. Like, I'm sorry. One day I will read it, but it's not on my priorities. So
it will happen. Trust me.
It'll happen someday.
You have no idea if Sal will randomly just read something, and he's a fast reader, so it's like he'll just be like, "Oh, I'm good."
Yeah, I'm done. Yay.
Like, so you never know. You never know what will happen.
No, it's true. It's true. But yeah, but John has a great reaction because it's like Superman showed up with these 2 new kids, and they're not like Kryptonian, but they're Kryptonian adjacent, and so he's like, "Yeah, we're gonna raise these kids now," and John, you're cool with that, right? I know I didn't really get to raise you at all. Like you were raised kind of like in a hole in the ground by a evil variant version of me, like who like threw you a bucket of fish heads every week. But I'm gonna raise these new kids now, and it's cool, right? And he's like,
that's not cool.
Yeah, and John's like, yeah, it's cool. I'm cool with that.
I'm cool because if I say I'm not cool, I'm gonna sound like I'm the jerk.
Right, because there's no shortage of super characters, and if I don't like this, they could easily make me into a villain. So let's not cross that road. So yeah, it's whatever. Crowded. Thankfully, I don't read Superman very often, so like I normally have a real problem with like redundancies and overcrowded families of books, and this is no exception. It's the cover is like everybody's getting jackets, and everybody's just gonna lose their luster.
I love the idea of everybody's getting jackets except for Superman. He's like, I'm not wearing a jacket.
No.
I'm Superman.
I don't wear the jacket. Everyone else wears the jacket. That's how you know you're not Superman. It's because you're wearing a jacket. And yeah, it's fine. Like it's sad because like Steel like set up this whole new business in a Metropolis, and like they got this new bold direction, and then like Mattel just levels the building, and it's like we just built this whole thing, and then we're gonna destroy it. And I'm like, yeah, it's cool. Like it's fine. Like it's this is a fun joyful issue full of characters. Kenan Kong is in it, and he's like doing his thing, and they're like, hey, you're the Chinese Superman. Remember the one that they really pushed because they thought it was going to be a thing? Well, now you're a backup character in our series. And hey, listen, it could be worse. You could be like the last 3 years or 5 years or however the hell long it's been since like anyone read his book. But listen, you're part of the family now because you got an S on your shirt.
I've heard that people honestly enjoy that character.
They do. No, he's a fun character.
That's good.
I got no problem with him.
No, I know you don't. I'm just saying,
yeah. But he's in there, so they're like, hey, you're in it, and yeah, that's it. It's fine. It's fine. There is also there's like a Dan Jurgens is like, you ruined my John Kent character. I'm gonna do a book where I'm gonna do a story where he's young, and we're just gonna like fill in the blanks.
Good.
And
that's the smart thing to do.
Yeah, just like here's what happened in another time that we didn't get a chance to talk about.
And eventually, he'll fill it in so much there won't be room for the other thing to have happened, and he'll just had a nice life.
Right? Exactly. Yeah, exactly. No, I mean they're gonna get there eventually. They'll fix that because that was horrible. Like him just being in a hole for like his entire.
I'm telling you, he's still in that hole.
Right? Yeah, it's not him.
The kid's still in the hole.
Sorry, but yeah, we'll see.
They're gonna be it's like, fine. Oops.
Right. I do recommend it. I think it's a fun read. It's a number of fun stories, and they're all like, none of them are better or worse than the other.
Okay.
They're all solid. But I do get why people are like, I'm not going to read this. Like, I'm not going to read Superman. Because it's like,
it is like,
it's not blowing the doors off, but it's fine.
The cover itself is like, it looks like it's like comic booky art, but it's also like bright. And
it's Dan Mora.
It actually doesn't feel like him.
No.
At all. Like that cover doesn't feel like him even remotely, but there's a like, and not in a bad way. I'm just saying it doesn't look like his work necessarily. But you know what though, in Supergirl it does.
Yeah.
But it's hopeful, like it's Superman, it's like there it is. So
yeah, I agree. I think it's fine. I just I've read other Superman books that I'm more excited for.
I know,
but unfortunately I can't talk about it. All I can say is that that I read it.
Well, maybe that means that this is like not a bad time to be a Superman fan. Or
Oh, there's
like,
certainly no shortage of Superman books. So yeah,
or like,
exactly.
there's like a lot of like quality content.
Mm-hmm. No, I agree. Yeah, that's fair. This is my like bi-monthly time to tell you to read Tom King and Greg Smallwood's Human Target. It's the penultimate issue.
It's a solid cover.
Solid series.
I mean, every cover's been solid, but
Oh,
there's just
yeah.
something like really,
Something really like
melancholic about this one.
and it reflects the interior, but beautiful stuff. I love that every cover is reflected the book in a very different way. Every very, very different covers for every issue, and it's it's just a great series. It's one of the best series from Tom King ever. So you should be reading this book if you haven't already. Don't pick up issue 11. Pick up issues 1 through 11, and then you can be on the same page as the rest of us when Human Target number 12 comes out. Which I read a tweet from Tom like the other day that was like, I just sent in my finals for issue 12, and I'm like, what are you talking about? Finals? Issue 11 just came out, man. What do you mean? What are you not done?
Listen, you let the man take his time with this one.
Yeah, I mean, I do want him to take his time. I hope they're rewrites or something, not like that he was like, I don't know what's going to happen in issue 12. Like, I just found out right now. I'm like, you better not.
It was like, it came to me in a dream.
Yeah, don't screw this up.
It's predators on a pirate ship. It's going to take a hard left.
Yeah. He doesn't have the ability to do that.
This whole time. It's just something that looks like a predator.
Right?
But it's not
That's
exactly
the worst.
that.
All right. And, just to get ahead of it, I read Amazing Spider-Man number 18 from Zeb Wells and Ed McGuinness. Ed McGuinness, he's doing what he does.
Am I looking at?
It's a demon that's dressed up like a member of the Sinister Six.
Okay.
He's in limbo. And Ben Reilly is like, I'm doing the thing. It's great.
It's like a lobster trying to be Scorpion.
Yeah, it's horrible.
It's fun. I don't know.
There's actually that's the thing, is that like there is actually nothing technically wrong with this, and it's very like joyful. Like everyone's favorite new character, Wreck Rap, was doing his thing, and like Spider-Man teams up with him and they fight the whatever the hell they call it, like the I'm not even gonna try to remember, but it's like the demon analog for the Sinister Six, whipped into shape by Ben Reilly, aka Chasm. And this picks up right after the Dark Web X-Men book, where it's like Madame Pliers like, it's over, sorry Ben. And Ben's like, cool, so like as long as you get everything you want, then who cares what I think, right? And I'm like, that's really fair. And she's like, yeah. Like, she doesn't go, no, Jean can literally do the exact same thing as you did to me. Nope. No one thinks of this idea. Like, no one is like, oh yeah, no, let's do that.
But you know what though? Like, I guess he doesn't realize that he needs his memories necessarily, right?
No, he does.
He does?
No, the whole reason why this is happening is because he doesn't have his memories.
Maybe it's
like he's mad that he knows he doesn't have them.
Right. Okay.
Yeah, no, it's a perfectly avoidable event.
Maybe it's that you have to be ready for it. Like Madeline came to like the two of them came to a real agreement as opposed to just being like shoved into.
Oh no, I don't think that they were gonna like ambush him, but like they could at least propose the idea.
Like, hey,
like she could explain, and she kind of tries to. Madeline doesn't explain like, we can do this for you. She says, no, you don't understand. Like, Jean was cool and gave me my memories back.
Yeah,
and that was that, and that's why we're done. Not like, and she could do the same for you. It's literally just like, no, I got what I wanted though, so it's okay.
Right.
And I'm like, that's fair to be mad about that, but also like it's dumb and avoidable. It's one of those, like, it's one of the worst plots where like, gee whiz, if only these two people just talk to each other like adults.
Right.
Then it would be done in 2 seconds. What a fun plot that is. I always love when no one doesn't love when characters go, no, wait, I can explain. And then the other person goes, no, you can't, and runs away.
It would have been an interesting opportunity to take, because it seems like they're really pushing Hallows Eve as being a villainous and, not being a
cured
good person
or a good
necessarily,
person.
right? So it would have been an interesting moment for her to be like, no, like we can get Jean and we'll fix it. Like, trust me, it really like helped me out. And like, and like Hallows Eve could be like, don't listen to her.
Oh yeah, no, that'd be great if that happened, but it didn't.
Like, don't listen to her. Like, no. She's trying to trick you. Trust me. They can't give you your memories back.
Right.
Like,
yeah, I'm indulging the worst parts of you.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, that's not what's happening. I mean, like she is, but like,
but that's not.
But
really.
The story isn't carrying that. The issue itself is very much like, well, I'm glad you're having a fun time. Like, you seem to really enjoy this. Like, Ed McGuinness must be having a fun time drawing like goofy as shit demons, like pretending to be Sinister Six characters, and like, Hallows Eve facilitates the theft of Madeline Pryor's scythe. So
Oh.
Ben gets it, and he's King Chasm, and he's huge, and he's like,
Well,
I'm in charge of Limbo now. And
Listen,
I'm
at
like,
the
"No,
very
you're
least,
not."
they're following with the Madeline Parker's no longer.
Yeah.
Like,
Evil.
I mean, it's called Dark Web. I guess it needs to.
It's more Spider-Man
it's supposed
centric.
to be more about him than it is her. Like, she's like facilitated some of it.
Yeah, we needed a Spider-Man character to be in Limbo and to like explain how it works.
I guess it really would have been useful maybe if they had pitched it more that like he tricked her into doing this.
That would be really fun, but that's not what happened.
No, I know.
Yeah, all these ideas are better than what's happening, but you could tell, like, as far as reading the issue goes, it is very much like it is competent, it is well executed in terms of it trying to execute what they want, but condescendingly speaking, it looks like they're having a really fun time doing it. I'm so glad that they're doing it at the expense of the reader. Good for you guys. Enjoy.
But hey, the X-Men part was fun.
The X-Men part was fun, and if you're an X-Men fan, like you're done. Your part of the ride is over.
I'm out. Thank you for having me.
Yeah.
Enjoy the rest of your time here in the dark web.
Right.
I'm a tap out.
Yeah, no, it's great. I'm very glad that like the X-Men people got something out of this. The Spider-Man people just get to continuously be kicked in the nuts until the heat death of the universe. That's what this book is. Rec Rap is dumb. I'm sorry. I appreciate that they're doing it, and I'm like, it ain't for me. But to be fair, as a child of like the 90s, so to speak, I like didn't like Spider Side either. You know, like I didn't like all the goofy Battletoads looking characters that appear in Spider-Man. Like, you know, I barely tolerate Venom.
I do get people like wanting to like it though because it's
Stockholm syndrome. Like you don't understand. I spent like $7 in this issue. I can't just have been built.
Not $7.
No, it's $5.
It's $4.
Is it?
So it's 4 right there.
Oh, great.
That's even less dollars.
That's true. That's true. All right, fair enough. $4.
Yeah.
All right. Even still, it's a shame. And then after this, we're gonna get like the what did Peter Parker do? So like it is very much a filler.
I keep saying I legitimately hope blows the doors off.
It better.
It can't. I know, but I hope
I
hope it in my core.
Yeah.
For every Spider-Man fan out there that this is like you're like, oh my god!
Yeah,
what an
so worth it.
Unbelievable moment.
Yeah.
In Spider history,
exactly.
Spider-Man history.
Like, you guys are gonna really appreciate it. No,
like in the future, people are gonna be like, "Wow,
yeah,
that was a time."
What did Peter Parker do? Blew my mind, is what he did. Thank you, Zeb Wells. You are now secured in the annals of history of Spider-Man writers.
I don't know. I don't think that's probably gonna happen.
It's gonna be Roger Stern. You know. JMD Mateus,
Straczynski.
No, not Jeff Johns. Jerry Conway,
yeah,
Straczynski, and Zeb Wells.
I don't see that happening, but I want it for all of you.
Yeah,
I want it so bad.
But like that's the problem, is that like that's what it's like to be a Spider-Man fan, is to like is to have like Alzheimer's disease and just keep thinking that like it's I hit really myself in the head with a hammer, and I don't know why it didn't like make like unicorns real. It's a mess. But anyway, it's a book that exists, and if you like goofy shit, you're gonna love this issue. Like if you're like, I'm a Spider-Man casual, I don't care. Like, you know what I mean? Like I just want to read about a guy who can like stick to walls. Like I love Spider-Verse. That's my answer to that statement. Then I think you're gonna enjoy this because it's just a bunch of goofy bullshit.
Right.
So like it, and it's never gonna be like fun. Like which I've talked about
one
before.
day.
Like no. Like the only hope you can get is like miniseries, out of continuity stuff and movies.
You know what you really need to have happen is another character at Marvel to become more popular in the zeitgeist.
Yes.
And then Marvel sinks their claws into that and says like, I don't care what Spider-Man's doing anymore.
Yeah, Spider-Man slips to
like
Spider-Man slipped to like number 10 in the top like 10 books.
And like the Fantastic Four like just
skyrocketed
in popularity, and they were just like, okay, wait, what are you doing over there with
that would
Fantastic
be nice.
Four?
I would genuinely hope that would be the case, and then it would be like the 80s again. Not that I want that, because like we didn't have great healthcare back then. The 80s weren't great, you know what I mean? Like we did, but I'm just saying, at the very least, like the popular characters would be popular, and the like niche characters would remain niche.
Right.
Spider-Man was always number one. The reality is Spider-Man was always on the top. It's just that they didn't care as much, or they just let them do it. They were like, oh, if you're like writing it and people are buying it, then just do what you want.
Yeah.
Anyway, Spider-Man. That's what he does to me.
All right, Spider-Man.
That's enough out of you. What'd you read?
Let's do a couple of quick ones here. I just want to, as a reminder, everybody, Saga returned
Yes,
last week. So if
to
you,
much fanfare.
what do you mean? Just because?
Just because there were like a million copies on the shelf.
Yeah.
And by the way, that is not correlation equals causation.
No.
I should say, like, just because your comic shop had a bunch of copies doesn't mean that the book didn't sell out, and doesn't mean that the book isn't fantastic.
Well, it's also because Image. I don't know if they're still sticking to their guns about the only printing one
Oh yeah,
time.
right. Like
They're not doing
don't
second
do
runs.
reprints.
Yeah. Yeah, so we're back, and it took me a hot second to remember some stuff that had happened in the last issue.
Sure.
Because they took a break, and it continues to be fabulous, but there is like a death, a loss in this that happens
Every issue must have a death.
No, but I don't remember it happening in the pages of the last few issues. I might have to go back and check it out, but if it didn't, it just happens in between the time.
Yeah.
And that's like sad to me.
Hmm.
It happens like very much off panel, and I'm like, okay, but like it's also realistic.
Yeah.
There's a realistic nature to that like not everything gets to have a grand exit.
Yeah.
And like that's just life. And I think that's why this book can be so beautiful and frustrating for me sometimes, because I'm just like, yeah, but you're writing it, and it's like, yeah, but like, yeah, he's writing it, but that like it makes you feel because of the way in which you can relate to it, even though it's like a ridiculous and over the top fantastical world that this story takes place in, and yet everyone is so human in it. Like, so I don't want to ruin it because it's a silly small thing. It's not silly. It's a thing that happens, but I don't want to ruin it for somebody who hasn't had a chance to read it. And like, it's not at all a big deal. It was for me, I think, though. So like objectively, I don't want to ruin it for somebody, but subjectively, I don't think it will ruin it for anybody. The art continues to be amazing. I liked I don't know when they did the switch over, it's always been like this, but I noticed it for this time around. I'm sure I've noticed it before, but that Fiona Staples' name is first.
Oh.
I think that's nice.
Yeah.
That's lovely. Also, you'll note if you're purchasing this, this issue was $3.99, which is fine. Like, Brian kept it as low as possible for as long as possible, and he addresses it in the back that it was $2.99, but they held that line for a really long time, it's
longer
like
than DC did when they announced they were holding the line at $2.99.
Yeah, for as long as like I can remember this book coming out, it's been $2.99. And so it has finally had to catch up, and that's just that's a legit inflation thing,
right?
Like, that's like a real thing where it's like, you know what, we have to push the price on this.
Yeah.
And so it'll be now at $3.99, but there is he addresses it. He doesn't pretend like that's not something
but he got ahead of it. Like, he did he addressed it. I mean, the reality is, like, they probably were like, the book doesn't sell very well anymore because we keep taking effing hiatuses, and we need to stop doing that.
Yeah. So
like the Image probably said, like, you need to raise the price, or we're going to cancel the book.
Right.
Sorry. Like, it isn't 2008 anymore. Like, people aren't hyped for Saga like they were.
Right. So
like, it's been a decade and there's only 60 issues.
So additionally, in like, if you'll read through the letters, I believe there's actually a marriage proposal in here.
Oh, that's cute.
Yeah.
Oh,
it's really sweet. So I thought that was wonderful.
I love
and
that.
I wish the best of luck to Everett and Stephanie. I hope she said yes. I legit do. I hope there's a follow-up letter in one of these.
That'd be nice. Or if they're in our chat, you should let us know.
Yeah, for somehow you're in the chat. But yeah, it's a beautiful, sad story. Continues to be a lot of great stuff though. And honestly, the end of this is Brian K. Vaughan being like, he's dangling something, and I'm like, it's so sad to say this because it's not the way of the world, because like I don't necessarily subscribe to this, but that I'm like, I'm afraid to have hope here,
right?
And that's what he's dangling in front of me is hope, and I'm like, so great work there.
There you go.
Also, Gargoyles #2 came out.
Yes. How are Goliath and Company?
Well, none of my pages fell out.
Oh, good.
So
that's good.
We're already doing better.
All right, Dynamite. Way to go. Way to step it up on your debut series.
Written by Greg Weisman with art by George Cambadais.
Yeah.
Listen, I if you like the show, you're gonna like the comic. That's all I can say.
Yeah, it's by the guy who made the show.
If you're like, oh man, I remember like Thalog and Lisa's brother and like all that stuff, like it's all in here. It's all in here, and it's like if you didn't, you're gonna be like, what the hell is happening?
Yeah.
the hell is going on? But if you like the show, trust me, it's written in the same tone. You're gonna hear the voices, like characters showing up, and immediately my brain's like, I know what they sound like. Like I have a whole casting call going on here. There's some new characters where I'm like, damn it, now I gotta make something up.
Just pick a Star Wars
Just
or Star
pick
Trek
a Star
character.
Trek character
Yeah.
because most of them were voiced from there. So
Well,
I'll just
like Patrick Stewart never voiced anybody.
I can't believe that. I mean, I can.
Yeah.
I cannot
Back
see
then, definitely.
Yeah, I can't see him in a booth.
I could. I mean, he did that awful video game voiceover. Remember that one that we had? Like you got it for like $1, where like he clearly read that like opening
Is it
crawl,
Demon Stone?
something like that. That sounds about right.
If I'm right, good job, Brain.
Yeah, way to go.
But yeah, I continue to like this book. It is like I'm not even gonna call
It's
it
only 2 books.
What?
Only 2 issues.
Well, I know, but like I thought the first issue might be just my nostalgia for it, but I was like, no, I'm actually enjoying this story. But
okay.
Trust me, if you're not a fan of Gargoyles, I don't know if this book's gonna win you over necessarily. It's well written and
it's for fans of Gargoyles.
It is 100% for fans of Gargoyles. But seriously, if you do pick it up and you're like, what the heck's this all about? Go watch it. It's on Disney Plus. We're not
Watch
shilling for them.
Show, but skip the Goliath Chronicles.
Do not watch the Goliath Chronicles. Just ignore that they exist. It's not worth your time. It's just crap. But like watch everything else. You're welcome ahead of time. You're gonna have a good time. Believe you me. Keith David is amazing. And I really wish I know that like Disney's making all those like questionable choices with like live action movies. Make that one. I know they'd still be CG. It would still be animated in that way.
Fine.
But like, please do this while Keith David is still here walking on this earth because he is Goliath through and through. He's absolutely amazing. He brings his A game 100%. Yes, my guy there.
Yeah.
So
Keith David rules.
He's absolutely incredible. So that's it. It's just I like Gargoyles.
He's why we saw the Princess and the Frog. We were like, oh, he plays the guy.
Also, because it's like one of the last like truly animated.
It was a beautiful movie, by the way.
It really is.
I'm so glad we saw it.
Yeah, me too.
That was thanks COVID. But yeah. What else did you read?
Oh, I read.
You know what? While you pull that up, Gallo Espejo. Would y'all ever do Next Wave Agents of Hate by Ellis and Immonen now that Elsa Bloodstone's been introduced to the MCU? She was in Werewolf by Night, which is surprisingly a fun watch. Yeah, we saw it. Yeah, I might consider doing Next Wave. I've always thought about it, but like, I've always been kind of like avoiding it because like it's not a very like well-trafficked book in the larger spectrum. Like people know it, but maybe that's the way to go. Like, because people know it, but they don't really know it. It might put people back on that radar. But yeah, I mean, I like that book, so I'd be happy to talk about it someday.
Okay.
Jose Rivera says, loved the letters page video last week, and as a Superman fan, I'm thrilled Jurgens gets to write young John again. Me too. I'm sure he is as well.
Yeah.
And I'm sure Peter J. Tomas is like, what the hell? It's like, dude, you have 2 Ghost Challenge of the Super Sons series. Like the people don't even know that book exists.
Yeah.
And you got to write them. I'm sorry, But yeah, no, I'm hyped for him too. And thanks for checking out Letters Page. That was an old show we used to do, but I found that it was actually shot in June. So oops. Paul Williams, hope you are all well. Strange question. I sent in a copy for you of Batman Long Shadows a couple of months ago. Did it perhaps get opened earlier in another episode of Letters Page? No, we haven't shot it since June. So nope. It's just on a pile over there.
So here's what's hilarious about that. Like the other day I mentioned Letters Page offhandedly because I was just like, I guess that show's done. No one's really sending anything anymore. And like I was like,
no, they are.
That's fine. Like we don't ask. Like no one has.
We don't remind people
anything.
like, hey, there's a PO box.
Yeah, like that is not your job to do that. But I was like, oh, I guess it's kind of the end. Like it kind of naturally ended. He was like, oh no, there's like a pile.
Oh no, there's like a whole stack of it.
I was like,
we got a box this big. I was like, what is this?
I was like, what? Apparently I don't explore enough. This place.
It's literally over there.
Where?
Behind that door.
Oh, really? I was in there the other day.
Radiant Theater Productions. His name is Rec Rap, and he's here to say, trolling Comic Sal in a Marvel way. Whacking webs now. Thank you very much.
I like that you had to read that too.
Me too. Silver Cricket, John Kent is in that hole for 5 years. You know how long that is? Why that is how long it's been since the original Clone Saga. 5 years. That's right. In real time. 5 years. In the Marvel sliding time scale, of course. L says Doctor Strange Fall Sunrise has been so beautiful. I appreciate Tiffany for pushing the Doctor Strange agenda. Is that an agenda?
It's my agenda.
Yeah, that's right. Doctor Strange, baby. Oscar Moreno, thoughts on the new X-Men titles that got announced? I have no idea what that means, but I'll be sure to
let me know. Like, are you talking about something that is like that just got announced?
Right from the book? We'll talk about that.
Yeah. Because I you could be a couple of different things. I don't know.
Nick Prado, another day, another handsome Sal. Thanks, Nick.
So
Appreciate
true.
it. Disagree. Level 87 code. ComicPop Comic Rocks. Hey, I like that. Thanks very much.
We are the Comic Rocks.
That's right.
By the way, it was Demon Stone. I nailed it.
Hey, way to go!
Confirmation.
If you ever watched that, it's amazing. You could tell he read it in one.
Oh,
he was like, "You got one," and he read it, and he's like waiting for it to roll up. Like
I did forget that he played the CIA agent or CIA head of the CIA.
Yeah, in American Dad.
Like, I was like, oh yeah, no, he would do that now, but like then,
yeah, back then, no way.
He
was
like,
not doing. No, thank you. Is Brent Spiner going to be there? Forget it. Nuber 375. Hey guy, wanted to support your content. Also, why haven't you done Watchmen back issues? Because everyone's read it, and especially the team, like everyone's read it, and nobody cares. Like you don't want to watch an episode of us talk about Watchmen.
Maybe we should do a different type of show for that.
Yeah, I guess we could just sit down and talk about it. But that's not back issues. People would be like,
no.
But yeah, okay, you talked about Watchmen, but like, why didn't you make fun of Watchmen?
Well, that's what you got Ben for.
Yeah, the new Ethan. Thank you both for and the whole crew for all the amazing content. Seriously, it's been helping me through work for the past 2 weeks. Stay awesome. We'll keep up the great work. Thank you so much for watching. Glad we could be there for you. And,
we'll do. You and Ethan will have a real conversation. Then Ben and I will critique your conversation.
There we go. Yeah, y'all watch that. Dan Master 1223. Hola, Comic Pop. First time super chatter. Long time viewer. You and Tiff and Benny reignited my love for comics after 10 years. So thank you. What is a complete series you both would recommend as someone from Jersey? Keep it up.
Oh, nice.
Hey, all right.
Jersey.
A complete series. Right?
Oh my God. There's like a million things I could say.
It's true. Yeah. Right? I don't know. There's a ton.
I'm like a series.
Also, Spiderman was a great series that I enjoyed very much.
Yeah, like the 1602 count.
Yeah, I mean that's more of an original graphic novel, but I'll take it.
Okay. The Aaron
Doctor Strange run.
I will always say that that's an amazing series. Yes,
that's true.
That one. Do that.
Yeah, I'm just looking at old episodes of back issues now to see if there's anything. I mean, there's a ton. We've done so many at this point. It's hard to pin down. Beta Ray Bill, I really enjoyed.
Yeah,
I love that. Supergirl
One of Tomorrow for sure.
Incredible.
That's complete. Like, you gotta think about. I'm like ones that are finished.
Yeah, that are done. That are not going to do anything. I loved Rorschach. I think that was great. But I enjoyed Human Target. You should be reading that.
Yeah, I mean, like again on the Tom King bandwagon, Mr. Miracle.
Mr. Miracle's great too.
Excellent.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
The Me You Love in the Dark.
Oh, the Me You Love in the Dark. You just got a friend to read that.
I did get a friend to read that.
That was great.
So you guys, what else I read?
Yeah, what else did you
Someone
read?
else mentioned Doctor Strange, Fall Sunrise, and I caught up on that because I was like, I never actually finished issue 2 because I didn't end up having to talk about it the week it came out.
Exactly. So we got
it came out at the holidays, which was like I was again
nobody was reading anything.
In my brain. I was like, I'm gonna have so much time to read comics.
I know. No. Heather Moore
doing the art and the pencils/inks and the writing on this one. Heather Moore doing the colors on this book. Let me tell you something right now about this book, because like I read issue 2 and issue 3. Issue 4, the last issue, is coming out. Like,
is that
that's
4?
it? It's 4 issues. That's it. Trust me.
So Doctor Strange is less of a commodity than Supergirl.
Well, these issues are longer.
Oh, are they?
Like this is like. Issue 3 was 36 pages. Well, I think it's like 33 without ads, but like give or take. But like it's still over. Well, I don't know. I thought, well, maybe that was issue 2.
This one's 36.
Yeah, maybe. I don't know. Because when I go into it says 33.
Oh, all right. Fine.
But like, whatever. That's in Comixology. Maybe they're counting the spreads as whatever. I don't know.
Oh, Comixology, they're going far.
All I know is that you're getting over 30 pages, which is much longer than a standard comic is right now. So like it's not really just 4 issues when you think about it, right? In terms of how long a comic book is, they're probably getting to 5-6 issues, right? Yeah. Depending, maybe 5. I don't know. But no, I mean, like, but this is the story he wanted to tell. Like, I don't think this is like oh no,
he only got 4 issues.
No, I think this is the story he's telling, right? And this book for me is like, hey, do you want to get the equivalent of like what Ditko was doing with art with kind of a DeMatteis into Shambhala sort of like out there storytelling? That's what this is. Like, it's literally taking the idea behind like it's Silver Surfer Black, right? This like kind of out there story with like this like crazy like mythology that was being built. Now imagine taking that concept, and then Tradmore is going to take that concept and go like, okay, what if I took that specific part of the concept and like took a character like Doctor Strange, and then just expanded on it and just went crazy with it, right? Like
cool.
it's like all right. So like I know that there's lots of people out there that 100% understand the lore behind Elden Ring, and like I have a very cursory knowledge of it because I played some of it before having to switch to another game. But every once in a while, I really want to go back and get my ass handed to me. But I know there's so much deep lore there, right? But like you're reading some of these things and you're just like, cool. What? Who thought of this? Why would this be like this? It makes sense because I'm here, I guess. Like, sure, I have to accept what this is because that's the rules handed to me, right?
Yeah.
That's what this kind of reminds me of, where you're just like, no, of course that's what's happening. Because sure, why not? But like, who thinks of these things?
Right.
Like it's written in the like a flowery, mythological sort of language, but also has like tethers to real like deities and names and like Gnosticism and stuff like that,
cool.
right? So like it's all over the place. More is thinking on another plane of existence that I'm clearly not on, but I'm really enjoying the ride and how much it makes me think of like the psychedelic nature of the original concept of Doctor Strange.
Gotcha.
And I think that like it is very much like a love letter while being its own thing to that time period, to Ditko's desires for this character. It's like, okay, what if we took that and like completely modernized it? This is where we would
cool.
And like it's like like I said, it's a beautiful love letter. And I know when we did Fantastic Four 1, 2, 3, 4, I was like, man, you know what I really want to see is like
no, that was Full Circle.
Sorry, Full Circle. When I just saw 1, 2, 3, 4.
I know. Fantastic Four 1, 2, 3, 4.
Damn it.
It was a good book,
when
but
we did Full Circle, and like I was like, all I want to do is see Alex Ross on this. And I still want that. But if you're really talking about taking like a character and then like, or a group of characters and then calling back to where they started, that's what this book is doing.
Nice.
But I'm telling you, it is not light reading, but doesn't mean it's not enjoyable.
Okay.
And I really am very glad that I ended up reading 2 and 3 together. I think this book is going to read amazingly as a trade.
Yeah.
Like it's going to be just that much more fluid, but like, yeah, there's like some, like there's just, the art is out there and wild and crazy. And then like, you've got this amazing story going on and it's all like gods and this is happening and crazy magic is occurring. We're not worrying about like the whole magic. None of that's there. It's just
fun.
Here it's just fun out there, wild, wacky, and just incredible looking.
Love it.
You're gonna see things in this book that you're just like you have to like think about the fact that a person drew this,
right?
Like a person conceived of this concept. There are some character designs in these books that I'm just like, how?
Like what?
What came to you?
Yeah,
you actually saw like
just the Doctor Strange on the cover is like what?
Yeah,
it's crazy.
Well, you know how they say like like in Sandman, what have you, like there's angels and it's like,
yes,
it's like,
if you ever saw an angel, you'd shit your pants.
Yeah,
because like they're like 10 eyes, and
right? And that's what you're gonna see in
that's
that
awesome.
kind of thing. And
Good.
I'm like, okay. So I think this also speaks to that Evangelion fan in me. I'm like, oh yes, thank you. So this is very much a book for me, even if I probably don't fully understand it right now. I think I'm gonna need a totally like secondary read through from start to finish. I don't care about saying that. Like I don't need to pretend like I'm the smartest person in the room at all. Like I'm just loving every moment of it, and I can't recommend it enough. If you're a Doctor Strange fan, if you've read Into Shambhala and you love Ditko's work, trust me, this is a pickup for you. And I really hope they make an oversized.
Oh
like,
man,
oh my gosh, this you need to see it.
Yeah. It's unfortunately regular size right now, but like,
yes,
I saw it on the rack and I was like, no.
Yeah.
Well, great. All right, Full Sunrise number 3. Check it out if you haven't already. You should, because it's on the rack. I've seen them.
Yeah.
Oscar Moreno, Marvel announced titles that lead to the fall of X, and here they are, ladies and gentlemen.
Let's do it.
Here we go. Sons of X.
Okay, makes sense. Sure, I'm sure that's going to be next.
Cy Spurrier and Phil Noto.
Oh, he's getting Noto.
Yay!
Oh, that's good for him. Good for you, Cy.
The Heralds of Apocalypse.
Oh shit! I was really hoping we were going to hold off on that.
Al Ewing and Luca Pizzari.
I really thought we were going to keep that one in our pocket, but
yeah, like wait for something else.
Yeah.
Nope, can't do that. Too much money.
At least it's Ewing.
At least it's Ewing. Mutant First Strike.
Okay.
Steve Orlando and Valentina Pinti. Okay. The Sinister Four.
Okay. Kieran Gillen. Okay.
And Paco Medina.
Oh, okay. Okay. That cover's really pretty.
Yeah, all the covers have been fantastic.
I know. I'm just
even this one.
That cover's stunning. That
Yeah.
one that with like the this one.
Yeah.
That's I like that. That's gorgeous.
it's
It
great.
looks like an eye.
Right?
There's a lot going on there that I'm really digging.
Yeah, love it. And that's it.
Okay. Yeah, this all makes sense.
Yeah.
That's
okay.
fine. There was in my heart of hearts, I 100% knew Apocalypse was coming back.
Yeah.
But like, did I hope that they would
that they would wait a minute?
Just it's okay.
Yeah.
It's okay. No, we don't have to do that just yet.
No, it's true.
But I get it.
Yeah.
I get it.
I should also mention complete series Batman Universe.
Ooh, that's a good one.
And we had a recommendation for Batman White Knight, which is also a fun.
Excellent one too. Good choice.
Cat Lawyer will defend for treats. Did you see the trailer for Doom that came to Gotham?
Okay.
Only know that book because of back issues, and now it's getting adapted. Hope it's good. Crazy coincidence. It is a crazy coincidence. I saw the trailer.
I did too.
It's fun.
I think they're clearly going to change some things. So hey, before you see it, if you are of a mind, pick up the book.
Yeah.
And then watch our episode, and then watch the movie.
There you go.
And that way you could be along for the ride.
Yeah. Jose Rivera, Gargoyles 2 was good, but short. Damn decompression.
It was for sure, very short, but like there was a couple of things where like I appreciated like having a minute to get to know a couple of maybe some newer characters and also be like, oh yeah. And there are like clearly like it feels like Weissman might be struggling a little bit with the format of the comic book versus like the episode, like episodic.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So I think we're just finding our feet. I'm hoping it's not just like a decompression trying to get your money, but I do feel like it's maybe a little bit of like trying to get used to this again. I mean, like I know he's written comics before, but it's still very different than writing a show.
Yes, that's true. Ray Farr, thanks for the amazing dance. Always thankful for Comic Pop. I've experienced so many lovely stories because of you guys. Thank you sincerely. Thank you, Ray. I'm glad we could do that. That's what I want. Like I want people to be exposed to comic books, enjoy them, find out that like, they're better than you think and you should be checking them out.
Absolutely.
I read All Out Avengers #5 because I heard about it from Derek Landy and Greg Land. Yeah, no, I did.
Oh, you did not give that away at all before.
No, I didn't. Wow. But I did read it. I thought that Greg Land wrote it because I saw Land on the cover, but it was actually Landy. That's Land. Derek Landy. Yeah, Landy Land. This is, I didn't read the previous issues because as Stan Lee himself said, every comic is someone's first, and I shouldn't have to. And I didn't. The Avengers were mind controlled. Spider-Man was mind controlled. And watching Spider-Man kind of like take down the Avengers was a lot of fun. It's a very fun Spider-Man is awesome kind of issue. It's actually kind of like a nice little breath of fresh air because you're like, if you're a fan, it doesn't have everything that I want, which is like he was an Avenger like a lot recently, and then for him to be like, hey, I'm on the outside, and I'm like, that's fun. It's like a throwback kind of story where and it highlights for me like what I don't like about the Avengers and what I do like about Spider-Man, where it's like a bunch of testosterone fueled like bro dudes being like, we're in charge, and Spider-Man being like, okay, I could still hand you your ass, bye. But it's fun. It's a really fun like kind of keep away where like no one wants to hurt each other, but Spider-Man like believes he's doing the right thing and kind of wraps up in a neat little package, but clearly continues into a like what could become like more. I don't know how it's doing, so I don't know how Marvel will regard it or put it in with like the rest of it. But it's a fun little story, and it made me want to read the rest of them because it was like, oh, Landy seems to have a really good like handle on these characters. And one thing is for certain, you do know that the book will come out on time. Yeah, because that's why Land's getting work.
There you go. That's true.
Yeah, I also read Ninja Turtles: The Last Ronin and the Lost Years.
What?
From Tom Waltz and Kevin Eastman and Ben Bishop. Also, S.L. Gallant. Say Gallant. But yeah, this is a book that by all rights really shouldn't exist because like it was already explained. This is like what happened to Michelangelo during those like those years when he was alone, before like when he was in Japan and stuff. And I'm like, we know, we read the book. That's all. We don't need more. And they're like, no, you do though, because Last Ronin sold friggin' great.
Right.
And you know what? Like it actually justifies itself pretty well. Like the story is fun. You watch Michelangelo like doing his thing in The Last Ronin. You watch like the formation of his hallucinations of his brothers. But more importantly, what's really about the justification of this book is you get to see the new Turtles. This is a sequel to Last Ronin and a flashback to what happened to Michelangelo. And I think that's really important because they throw all the turtles, the new turtles at you. And they're like, here are their names, here are their like distinctions and their personality traits. and it wasn't enough to hook me. But then they're like, but here are the old turtles. And I'm like, or at least one of them. And I'm like, all right, now you got me. I'm not hooked on those new turtles.
Okay.
And it's not that like I'm a purist because I couldn't, like, I love the turtles, but only in as much as like I watched the cartoon, I read some of the comic books. I played a lot of the video games, like I played with the action figures a lot more than I did any of the
Made
other
your own
properties.
stories.
Yeah, I made more stories about the turtles than I ever read or watched any of them. The first Ninja Turtles movie is a masterpiece.
I know you're a big fan.
But so I'm not like a purist when it comes to the turtles, and yet the new turtles, I'm like, feels like you're trying a little too hard. Plus the names, I was like, you didn't make them comic book names. Like Eastman and Laird, if they were going to introduce a fifth turtle, we're going to call it Kirby.
Right.
And it's like, so it's not just going to be like Kirby, Lee, Ditko, and Ramita. Like we're not just going to do that.
That'd be fun.
Like, are you kidding me? Instead, it's just a bunch of gobbledygook, and I'm like, oh, okay, well, that's fine. But there's one that's like a fun, like there's one like it's a girl turtle, and she's like, she does machines, and I'm like, all right, well, that's mine. And she's got fun like painting, and it's like, oh my god, that's right, turtles have like markings and stuff.
Yeah,
oh, that's kind of fun.
Are they painted turtles?
She's a painted turtle, and I'm like, oh hey, that's kind of fun. But yeah, it's cool. It's fun. It's a good read, but one of the biggest like exciting parts of Last Ronin was like new turtles.
Right.
So we'll see if it works. Like
this
is also like when they're young. We haven't seen them like actually become like Ninja Turtles yet.
Right,
they're still learning.
Okay.
But it's an uphill battle, I think. What else did you read?
I finished off Exterminators.
Hey, it did end. Yeah.
It did end. It's all done.
It's all done. And that's not a condemnation. Like
no.
This isn't we're not one of those channels that's like Exterminator sucks because it exists. But yeah.
No, I mean, like they said it was 5 issues, and it's 5 issues.
And it is,
although they say at the end, like they will return.
They're like,
but it does say end. Like they're like, but we're done with this, right?
Yeah, exactly.
And I'm like, okay, which is what I said. Like this is a team like this is better suited to like 5-issue stories,
right?
As opposed to like we got to come up with an ongoing story for these guys.
Exactly. Like that's such a smart idea. Just like look,
if somebody has an Exterminators pitch, like all right, you can do it in 5. We're done.
Yeah.
Good.
Well, Marvel is all about limited series anyway. Like none of the books are ongoing anymore.
Yeah, this just really like wraps it all up. Where it's just like, how are the girls gonna get back at the bad guys? And then they do, and they kick ass, and they take names, and they get And
they go, are we some kind of exterminators? By the way, Leah Williams, Carlos Gomez.
Yes. Well, I didn't even do that. I was just like,
I know you just went right into it.
Yes,
like, we got to give credit.
No credits. No, absolute credits. We're credits.
Absolute credits.
Absolute credits. But yeah, I mean, I'm not gonna like, whatever.
Oh yeah.
Like,
but how? Yeah. But so anyway, they do the thing. They do the end of Death Proof.
Right. And yes, it very much is that. But they get Magic to help out by giving her this.
What is that?
I believe that's like it's one of the creatures from Limbo.
Oh, okay.
That she desperately wanted.
That's adorable.
Which is fun.
Yeah.
You can check it out for yourself. I won't give things away.
No.
Especially like in the last issue. But yeah, at the end of the book is like they don't say that like I think they do call themselves the Exterminators.
Right.
But yeah, they do say like,
maybe we should do this some more sometime.
No, I think they put somewhere that they'll be back. Like,
oh, okay. Like the Exterminators will return.
Yeah, literally. It's literally what they say.
Yeah, that's smart.
I'm like, all right, cool. So it was fun. It's silly. It's campy, and it's meant to be that. Like, it's not trying to be the most amazing, thoughtful, like high art story you've ever read. It's just silly, campy, and fun. If you like Death Proof, then like that is what it's supposed to be. It is a B movie,
right? And it doesn't take the place of anything else. It's not occupying a space that would be otherwise occupied by a book that like a detractor would want.
Yeah,
and it is forgivably 5 issues.
Yeah,
like it is a very manageable amount of issues to just enjoy that.
Yes, no, it is very much a grindhouse film without. They don't go that gory, obviously.
Yeah, it's not like we're gonna go hardcore, make it freaking X-rated. Like,
no, we're not doing that. It is not X-rated. In your Exterminators. But yeah, it was silly and fun. You know, I don't hate that I read it. But I'm not like wow, that is on my must pull list. I had a good time with it.
My favorite X team.
No, I had a good time with it. It was fun.
And it's over.
And I'm good. I'm like, yay, that was fun.
Yeah.
And I'm glad that they kept it at 5.
Oh yeah, that's smart. Delta 501st, thank you very much for your support.
Thank you.
Yeah, what else did you read, Tiffany? I read Batman One Bad Day, Catwoman #1 from G. Will Wilson and Jamie McKelvey.
And I didn't get a chance to read it, but I looked at it.
You did.
Because we have it right here.
We do. We have it right there. It's right there.
And I know Jamie McKelvey from Wicked and Divine.
Wicked and Divine. I was going to say Wayward and Divine because I merged two books together.
You definitely
in my brain.
merged two different books.
Yeah, this is a story. Catwoman is we establish in her history that like Catwoman and her sister had this brooch that her mother inherited from like an old family heirloom. She sold it to a pawn shop, and then it turns out that the heirloom is part of like some like war collection piece. The heirloom itself is up for auction by a bunch of hoity-toity 1%ers, and it's worth like millions of dollars or whatever, or hundreds of thousands at least. And so Selina's like, that's not fair. My mom was built. That's bullshit. I'm going to steal it back. She does. She calls her sister and she's like, I got it back. And her sister's like, cool. How does that help me? I'm working as a cashier and I'm miserable. Like, okay, cool. Like maybe we'll get lunch sometime. Like, thanks for the heads up. Click. You know, like it's very much like a lesson that Selina needs to learn. In the story, also, Selina meets like an older woman con artist who facilitates the auction itself, and also reveals through the narrative that the brooch that Selina stole, which she then tries to fence to get like the millions of dollars to help her sister out, is actually a fake. Her mother was like not. She was, yeah. Aww. It was always fake. It was always worth nothing. And that like it was a grift or something, you know. It's just like my mom, and it's like things are worth what you believe they're worth, you know. Fart, and it's like it was a nice idea. This makes me like kind of. This is a fine done in one Catwoman story. I would be very upset if this was like a mini series, because like you could easily stretch this out,
sure,
into like a 5-issue mini series, and I'm so thankful they didn't. McKelvey does a nice job with rendering people individually on the page, but the pages themselves are not especially exciting. The people themselves are exciting. Like the people are rendered when they are deliberately and individually rendered. They are spectacular. There's a beautiful image of Selina in a dress, and McKelvey does not shy away from showing her muscularity, and it's like, yo, like, if she were Catwoman jumping around and flipping and crap, like she'd have muscles, and it's hot. Like you can't deny, like it's, you know, that she is sexy, even if like she has like these built, you know, she's built, you know what I mean? It's like they're showcasing this kind of like very feminine, but still also muscular person.
Right.
It's like they're doing a thing. And I'm like, and I'm here for it. Good for you. You know, and it's well executed. Like, as I said, each person is well executed.
Yeah.
But they are the focus of the panel or page, and everything else is sacrificed as a result. You know, the backgrounds are not terribly dynamic, and the background characters are not terribly well rendered. And, you know, it's like everything looks like it's like rendered with like a 3D program that I own. You know what I mean? Like, it's like, oh, I need a background, I need a table, I need a building, like whatever, blah. You know, it's like, let me just get this book out. You know, I'm not complaining.
No, you are.
All right, I'm complaining. It's not.
You are, and I know that
it's not my kind of book.
That is that type of thing is something that drives Sal crazy. Everybody, I can tell you this because I know, I hear about it a lot. True. I don't think that's what's happening here. Okay. I will say, here's what I think is the thing about this book.
Here's what my problem.
Here's what I think your problem with it might actually.
Okay, because I don't have a real problem with it.
No, I know. But McKelvey did the coloring on this.
Oh, really?
And I gotta tell you, like, I like the coloring better in Wicked and Divine. This is
Wicked and Divine coloring.
No, I'm not. I actually need to look. I just remember liking it better. There's something about the palette chosen throughout the book. I don't know what it is. I'm not loving the color palette here.
But it is very deliberate. That's one thing that I did like subconsciously notice. Like you could tell like there is
sometimes
there's a look to this book.
No, there's a look to it, but like it just seems like sometimes the Wicked and Divine stuff's like kind of leeching in, and then it's like, oh no, but I'm doing a regular comic book. I shouldn't pull that back.
Well, like a color should mean something, and it should signify like a moment, and it, like, you know, not to compare apples and oranges.
You know what it is? It doesn't feel so cohesive, like because of that for some reason. But the fact is, like, I still like the look of it, but you know what though, McKelvey's art is stylized, and so you're either gonna like it or you're not.
Yeah.
Like with Sal, you don't like like the way that the backgrounds are done. I'm like, that's pretty.
Well, it's just
I have
very
no problem with it.
Yeah, it's not my kind of thing, but like I do, but the people themselves, it reminds me of what's his name? You know the one. He drew a lot of Batman, but it's very similar in terms of like this is how I draw people, and it's like take it or leave it. You know what I mean? He drew war jokes and riddles, but
oh yeah,
right.
I remember that was.
But this has more
Someone
of
will
but
tell
this
us.
has a softer style to
No,
it.
it is, and I like McKelvey's art style
Yeah.
for sure. I wish the I love it. I love this color palette here.
Yeah,
like this is a really
you feel like it's
really,
morning or
like,
day,
beautiful, like cohesive page, and then there's other pages where I'm like, yeah, okay,
yeah,
like just fine.
Well, and like there's almost,
and that,
I
again,
hate
not
to,
in
I
the
hate
art.
to suggest this, but there is kind of like a stiffness to it.
That's McKelvey's work,
and
it's not like
that sequence where she jumps around. Like I've seen that. I read comic books. Like I've seen this idea of how to execute this like 1,000 times. It didn't. I didn't feel a flow like is demonstrated.
Okay, so let me tell you, I actually kind of like this, but I know what you're talking about. But what I see here is this is almost like a camera took a whole bunch of like high speed images.
Right. Oh, okay.
Like that's what that looks like to me. Like there's something kind of cool about it.
Yeah.
And usually there's like a bit of like halftone dot going on there. There's definitely a little something that's like a little pop arty about it.
That's
like
what it is.
I do like it. I like the overall look of the book, but I happen to notice that like sometimes the coloring on it, it's like it's a little different.
Yeah.
It's like I don't know, but I'm interested in maybe checking it out.
You should check it out because it's worth.
How does it fit within this whole? Because like
it doesn't.
The one bad day thing seems to kind of like be all over the place.
Yeah,
right now.
It is a complete.
Like it's like it's an idea, but at the same time,
no. This is one of those things where you can tell like that this was pitched as an idea, right? Like this was like an editor's idea, like do this. And we'll get like the top talent that DC can get, to do these things. And no one believes in it, which is par for the course of DC.
Yeah.
Where they're like, let's make an imprint. No. You know what? People are making fun of us for imprints. Let's just do an initiative.
Right.
And so, people are taking the job. Because why wouldn't they, right? Because it's also like an opportunity to do an OGN, like or at least a done in one, or a prestige bound. Like here's a thing, which they should. This is. I will never say this was a bad idea because it is exactly what DC and Marvel should be doing.
So it's not one bad idea.
It's not one bad idea. But it is not as exciting as it should be or as like interesting as it began. And I know, look, I know I seem like I'm a Tom King stan, and I read the latest issue of that little boy book. I don't remember what the hell it's called anymore, but like, the one with the kids. And they're doing the thing.
Danger Street,
thank you. And I'm still not sold. But and I'll never defend Heroes in Crisis. But like I don't need to say that I hate someone's work just to explain that I don't like stand them. But like that Riddler issue is so good, but also so divisive. That means it's doing something right.
I guess.
If everybody thinks it's great, I think you've done something wrong. And I think if everybody thinks it sucks, you've done something wrong. But if people are like, it's fantastic or it sucks, that's something you've done something right. Like you've succeeded.
I do think if a lot of people think it's great, it could still be great.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, but I also think that like if everyone agrees it's great, if everyone across the board, there's no dissension or there's no criticism available, it means that it's worth looking at in a more like analytical perspective to figure out why. And in that you'll find the whatever the whatever.
Oh, you're saying there's no perfection in art?
I think no. I'm not saying there's no perfection in art. I'm saying that like because that's not perfection. Perfection is in the eye of the beholder. No, that's unanimous agreement.
Okay,
that's what I'm talking about. But yeah, I think I think like the Mr. Freeze one was good. I liked it, but that's the thing is it's not like they're not. Clearly the One Bad Day thing is creatively bankrupt because they just wanted to do Killing Joke and they just want to try and create a bunch of and this is just them shotgunning Killing Joke. They're like, okay, we got Killing Joke out of Alan Moore from a contractual obligation. If we can make our top talent, force them, if you will, into making a Killing Joke for every single Batman villain, maybe we'll get another one out of it.
Okay.
And that's
Yeah, I mean that's
horrible.
what I pitched. What happened was in.
Yeah, you said like this is
when
like
we
Tom
were-
King did not want to write
I was
a
like, "There's
Riddler
no
story.
way I'm reading this book. There's no way that this is like something he wanted to
No,
do."
and he said it. He
I was
admitted
like,
it.
this
He was
is
like, no, the editor came to me and
I'm
he's
like,
like, Riddler.
This was an assignment,
Yeah, it was an assignment,
and that read like an assignment.
absolutely. And but I loved it. I love that assignment.
I did not.
You know, I understand like the idea of hiring people to do like I'm like I think you do a great job on this. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
And it's like I don't want to write about that. And it's like, well, I think you would do great in it anyway.
We'll do it anyway.
We'll do
okay.
it anyway. I'm the editor. But as long as they get to do everything they want, but still do this, like I think we can still get things out of it. But like this one bad day initiative, conceptually creatively bankrupt. Execution wise, a little bit of a thud. Like the Penguin book, I read it. Like it could have been a subplot in Detective Comics.
Mhm.
You know, Mr. Freeze could have been an OGN or a one shot. Like it's good, I love it, but like, is it a definitive Mr. Freeze story? Is it a Killing Joke for Mr. Freeze? Hell no, not even close.
Right.
I don't know what that is. I don't know what that looks like. Maybe that is. Maybe Mr. Freeze doesn't get a Killing Joke.
You know
Maybe there are
what?
some characters that just can't Killing Joke.
You know what? Yeah, I was gonna say inherently it's flawed because it worked for the Joker because of the nature of his character.
Yeah, like
and
I can't. Yeah, no, you're
not every character, not every villain or character in general can have that work for them.
No.
They have their own thing that maybe isn't
No.
anything like that at all.
It's part of why I hate Spider-Man Reign. I think Spider-Man Reign is another creatively bankrupt concept because you can't just apply a story that is intrinsically connected with one character to every character and expect it to work. Like they went, what if Dark Knight Returns for Spider-Man? And I'm like, what about like that's like being like, what if Jaws, but it's a moose? Like it's a terrible idea and it's creatively bankrupt and it's never gonna work. I'm sorry. And it's like you know what I mean? Like it's just like you can't just take the movie that works or the story that works because the nature of the characters and what what makes it fundamental and then apply it to somebody else. And maybe that's what it is. Maybe the one bad day initiative. But
you applaud it for what it's doing, regardless of what the assignment might have been, like where it's going. You're like, okay, you're just doing stories, like one shot kind of stories.
Yeah.
And it's like, that's good. Do that. But you don't have to make it under a thing.
It doesn't have to be called a thing.
Just do that.
That's what they did in with Batman back in the day. They'd be like, here's a Batman prestige like here's Batman the Abduction, here's Batman like whatever, you know, the Elseworlds initiative. They were just like, here's the nail. I don't know. It's like, what?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. And people still talk about it today. That's great. By the way, I'm just going to address this one thing.
I saw this and I was like, there's literally no way
that Sal will not freak out about
this and freak out about this.
But and I think it's important to address because I think it's important to say, and I'm not going to call out the person in general because I know that's what they want. And I'm just going to say like,
or they just,
or they're just deliberately misinterpreting the conversation.
Asking a question. Like,
right.
I think that it's better.
Yeah, let's benefit of the doubt. Let's say they're just genuinely asking a question. No, I don't want editors to do their job and not exist. I don't think that's what I'm saying. I think that's intentionally misunderstanding the point.
Well, I could say though that you did say that, you know, that you don't want editors to be involved in certain things, but editors do. But we've also said that they need to have editors.
I said that yes. There is a point to be made when it's like editorial control is inherently bad, and I've never said that specifically, but I have said that editorial control is usually to blame for a lot of problems.
Well, especially when it's a solo controller, but it's something because occasionally, like, here's the thing: a good editor,
yes,
knows, you know, can look at the overall picture and understand guidance, or like maybe has an idea and like will pitch that idea to the writer and the creative team. But it's really up to the creative team to do that. But if editorial as a whole, as an entity, and not just an individual editor, is driving something forward, sometimes that can be creatively bankrupt because they're thinking about it less from a like, you know, artistic story driven.
Yeah, they're not like fostering creativity. They're just trying to like
get
check
numbers
a box,
up,
get a thing.
Yeah.
And it's like there's good and bad. It's like everything. It's shades of gray and it's nuanced and it isn't summed up in a like pithy question that's rhetorical. It's about like saying, you know, like and I've said this on many occasions, and the reality is, not to like put too fine a point on it or anything like that, but just because I've said one thing one time or 10 times doesn't mean that I'm beholden to those things in the future. People can change their opinion. I haven't, but I am leaving room for that to be a thing because I think that like people can grow and change based on new information. But I do believe that like I think that, and I've said this, and again I've said this on numerous occasions, like I think that a lot of creativity is sometimes fostered by restrictions and being put into a box. Like,
Yeah.
I think that like you get more. Sometimes you get more out of it.
It's
and,
not
and
always.
It depends on the creators.
It depends on the creators, and it depends on the it all really comes down to the situation itself. But like, there have been times literally when editorial will come up with something and like it works out great, and there are other times where you're just like, that creator really was trying to do something else, and then editorial stepped in and said, well, we need you to do this.
Exactly. Like, you can feel comparing or using examples. And Nick Spencer Spider-Man. No record on that, but it feels very much like Nick Spencer had an idea, he had a direction. Now, I think Nick Spencer also was like, I'm leaving, I'm taking a huge paycheck from Substack, and I don't care what they think, and I'm going to do what I want. And I noticed that that the editors are asleep at the wheel, so I'm going to like undo the marriage and fix Sins Past and do this, that, and the other thing, and then they won't even notice. And that's how I got away with a lot of things back when I was writing the Captain America. I think that he was doing that, and then someone noticed like right at the finish line and was like, no, and made him change. And that's why it's like such a mess at the end.
Yeah.
I genuinely think that's true. That's one of those things where it's like, that's editorial mandate. That is a shift, as opposed to like editorial saying, so you had this idea for like Mark Waid on this channel has said out loud, editorial came up with the idea for Lazarus Planet. That was editorial. Editorial said, this is Lazarus Planet is our idea. What if the island was a volcano and it erupted and it made everybody get different powers? That was editorial. And I know half of you didn't read Lazarus Planet, but like, it's actually a pretty fun issue. And I've read some of the tie-ins. I couldn't care less about most of them, but like the main series of Lazarus Planet, pretty cool. And you'd be surprised how many of your favorite stories came from some editor going, what about this? That's cool.
Right. I think it also depends on the length of which the writer and the creative team has worked with the editor, because the longer they work together,
they're more simpatico.
Yeah.
They got like yeah,
for sure. But like, an editor really is there to do several things. They're there to keep the book on track. They're there to read through scripts to make sure that,
there's a lot of jobs.
Like they do a lot of things, and at times part of their job is to go back and tell a writer like, this isn't working,
right?
Like, you need to fix this, right? Like, this isn't right, or like
this concept isn't working,
right? But sometimes the writer will come to them and go like, I'm really stuck on this, and that's when the editor will step in and be like, oh, what about this, or this, and try to give them some guidance there. Occasionally the editor has to step in and go, hey, there's an event going on, you have to do this, right? But like, if there's like an editorial like entity that's not just, again, a one-on-one editor who shows up and is just like, we're doing this,
right,
too bad, everybody.
Exactly.
That's when it gets maybe into the negative side of it. Like, oftentimes editorial as a whole isn't just an individual editor, but it's a larger body. It's another part of it.
It's a concept more than like a guy.
Yes. But like, that is that. Like, so sometimes you'll hear Sal talking positively about editors, where like, you need editors, because you do need editors. And you have to have editors there, because editors are going to be the one that really helps with quality control and just like,
or just keeping like just wrangling.
Yeah, wrangling. Like, they have hard jobs. Like, do not mistake us at times being like, editorial sucks and like, what are they doing? With saying that editors don't have a hard job, because editors do have a hard job.
They do, and it's a multifaceted job, and they have to do like a million things. And it's like, that's one of my many criticisms about Marvel and DC is I'm like, it seems like there aren't enough of them. It seems like they're not doing their job sometimes.
Right. But
and like the idea of One Bad Day, bring it back around, is like, can you guys do this? No one took the job at One Bad Day that didn't want the job.
Oh, sure.
That's creative. And again, like, the creativity, or that fosters creativity, even if you're just trying to churn out killing jokes. But again, like, I'd come up with the same idea. Like, I'd be like, yeah, because I want to see like that. I want to see like 1,000 prestige-bound Batman books, but why limit it to Batman?
Right.
I'd bring back the Elseworlds label, and it's an editorial thing. Like, that's an idea that comes from upstairs that goes, do this now. Not everybody wants to be told what to do, especially creative people, especially writers and artists. But if you want to work in this field, you gotta take your marching orders sometimes.
Yep.
So it's like I said, like, and I understand that, like, that may be confusing if you are genuinely concerned and confused.
No, I do believe that.
But it is also like, it is not. That's because it's not.
It's like, not always cut and dry.
Yeah, it doesn't belong on a bubblegum card. It is it's just a point that is, it's a point that's ever evolving and changing, and it's not necessarily like wishy-washy. It's just like, editors can be great or not, but they need to be, but they need to exist,
Mhm.
and they need to do their jobs. And it's okay to criticize them, even if I also appreciate that they exist.
Mhm.
It's like being mad at the umpire at a baseball game. You know what I mean? Like, you still need them.
But people do that anyway.
Right, but people do that anyway, and sometimes people are right and some people are wrong and they're being cruel.
Right.
But we still need everyone to do that. Like, the way it works. Same with editors. So anyway, let's jump into some super chats because we had a couple of them while we were going in.
Let us do that.
Sorry, I don't mean to like go off, but like some people like me doing that. So
I think that was a legitimate question.
Thank you. I appreciate. Yeah,
I think that was
you
real.
believe it was.
I believe that was from a real like place of question,
place of concern and confusion. That's
Yes.
fair. All right on. You know what? And I hope you're right. You know, and I know more importantly, I hope we answered that question.
Yes.
Navwing26 is Long Halloween movie good adaptation of comic because I really want to read Dark Victory. No, you just read the comic book. It'll go faster, and the movies are garbage. They look really bad, and they're not very well written. Hogshead, do you think Mr. Sinister's popularity is mainly because of the 90s cartoon and how he was portrayed there, cape and all, or is he just a good read on his own?
I personally think it's because of the cartoon,
It's easily
but
because of the
I
cartoon.
do know that a lot of people do like him from the books as well. But I do think that that's where it started.
That's how most people know
I
him.
think that's where it started for a lot of creators.
Yeah.
Like who are writing now, they're like, I know that guy.
I think it's two things, and it's two things that have nothing to do with mainstream comics. It's the cartoon show and Age of Apocalypse. I think people like it because of an alternate reality of X-Men,
Yeah.
and the cartoon, which is also
fair.
another alternate reality of X-Men.
That's fair.
Because I can tell you, I've read X-Men from like the time when Mr. Sinister was invented, and I can tell you, like, they're not great. Delta 501st. Tiffany, after last mail video, I got to know what do you think of Belle, because I just love that one. I saw it 4 times when it was in theaters last January.
I haven't watched it yet.
No.
Because I thought Sal and I were going to watch it together, and now I think I'm just going to watch it by myself. I've been waiting.
Why didn't you tell me anything? Just say I want to watch it.
You know.
Rhinestone 117. Seeing Ben turn into Illidan Stormrage makes me wish they would do a soft reboot of Amazing Spider-Man. How would you feel about Marvel having a character-specific crisis? I mean, they do that all the time, right? Like, so yeah, I think they should definitely do that. Like, I mean, Ben is one of those characters that, like, again, speaking of editors, Nick Spencer has been on record talking about how the whole Beyond arc was essentially a love letter to another editor or person he works with, like an assistant editor who loved Ben Reilly. And he's like, well, then since we have no plans for him, we don't have a place for him, and we never are going to do anything with him, and we need to fill up this gap time, let's give Ben Reilly essentially a send-off and set him up as a new character, basically.
Okay. I want to give a huge shout out to Rhinestone because I'm not reading the Spider-Man side of it, but I was just like, is that what he looks like right now? Because I've had to pull it up for Sal because Sal has no concept of who that character is.
No, but I do now, and yeah, he looks just like him.
I was like, wow, nice pull. 10 out of 10. I loved that.
Yeah.
I immediately had an image in my head. I was like, really? Okay.
Yeah. But yeah, I think that like characters are ripe for crises. I just wouldn't call them that because it has a lot of baggage. Bear F, not sure if you're reading Wolverine, but that is where the Beast stuff is going to be, is going through. Also, been watching for a while. Met you guys in New York Comic Con. Keep it up. Also,
Nice.
Love the content and streams. Thanks, Bear.
Oh, thank you very much. Yeah,
you are reading
I need
Wolverine.
to. I think I'm 1 issue behind, but yeah, since Percy's writing it, and I know that that what he did to Wolverine recently. Yeah, I sort of thought it was going to happen in both books, but I guess it's going to be focused.
It's going to be focused on Wolverine. Yeah.
Thorn
Identity. Got to leave the office. I'll be listening, but all the love, guys. Stay gold. You too, Mr. Thorn. Thank you so much for checking us out, being here,
appreciate you
being our booster. We do really appreciate it.
Yeah,
always.
Absolutely.
Paul Williams, which One Bad Day villains would you like to see? I mean, they're already doing them all, right? Like, I love the Mr. Freeze one. I'd like to see a Man Bat one Bad Day. The Clayface one I've read. I can't talk about it, but I can tell you it's freaking solid. Pick it up.
You know what I'm really surprised at, and I don't know why. I think it's because of the Porky's thing, but I'm just like, I'm surprised. Pig? Yeah, I'm surprised that Tom King didn't do Professor Pig.
I think, well, he took an assignment. I think they told him. I think they told him Riddler.
Yeah.
And you got to do Riddler. You know, if you want to get people paying attention, Riddler's one of the top 3 most iconic ones. The Two-Face one was a waste of time. It's just it's a shame. Just do that one again. Baby Doll would be great.
We haven't seen Baby Doll in forever. They
No,
don't
we're
care.
never gonna see
Other
it.
than Ventriloquist.
Ventriloquist would be amazing.
You know, I'm
too.
always pitching those guys.
Yeah, just characters that like would be really cool and would be a
just
great
tragic ones
yeah,
that
ones
like
would
you
be amazing
can.
in a Matt Reeves movie.
Yeah, or that ones that where it's like you can make them go dark. Who cares? They're not
Yeah.
using them anyway.
Exactly. Yeah, you don't care about them anyway. What else did you read, Tiffany?
Are we done?
Let me see if we are done. Yes, because I read. Yeah.
You read this too. You read Sins of Sinister.
Oh yeah, I read Sinister. Yeah, I read Sinister.
You read Sins of Sinister and by Kieran Gillen with art by
Travel Form and Stefano Caselli
well, it's
and David Lopez.
Yes, because it's really no, it's art by Lucas Wernick.
Oh, okay.
Main artist.
Main artist Lucas Wernick.
But then there's a whole bunch of other artists who do like 1 or 2 pages in this. Really, so it's
Ah.
Jeffrey Shaw, Marco Cicchetto, Juan Jose Rip, David Baldinian, Travel Foreman, Carlos Gomez, Federico Vincentini, David Lopez, Joshua Cassara, and Stefano Caselli. You might see that and go to yourself, oh my God, why would there need to be this many people on this book? Because they're showing little moments.
Yes.
They're showing tiny moments in here that basically go like, hey, like
this is what the book's
here's some things that you're never going to see.
That's
Eat it.
true.
Who
Yeah.
cares? Here's a fun moment that like Marco Cicchetto can draw. And don't you wish you could see that book?
Yes.
Well, you can't.
If you could, then you would. But you can't.
Yay. Yeah, man, listen, like listen, okay. So let's talk about a couple of things. One, my understanding is maybe this book's not like
not selling so hot.
Like well, Sal said it was like number 10 or something like that.
It was not. I mean, look at this.
Okay, well, here's the thing about it. I get that because people are like, I'm done with events. Don't think about this as an event, even though
story arc.
It really is, and it's only affecting 3 books.
That's right.
And those 3 books, all 3 of those writers are working on this together. So don't even think about it, other than the fact that when it's all said and done, other books are going to go like, oh yeah, Sinister sucks. And we're going to be like, yeah, right. We all knew that.
Yeah,
it's fine. Second of all, this cover is uninspiring. It looks like it's a previews catalog.
Yes.
Like 100%. Oh, hello, Benny. Hey, you tell your wife that her like Instagram reels have been really funny and I'm enjoying the hell out of them. But yeah, this looks like it's a previews catalog.
Yeah.
I think we can all agree with that. I look at this and I'm like, I don't want to pick that up. I want to read the book.
Yeah.
This is the book.
It's not a bad cover. It's just like it's for a previews catalog and not for an issue.
That's what it looks like.
But it also like I get it because it is showing you like a whole bunch of different things.
Sure.
So
no,
it's like,
it
makes
like,
sense. It's just kind of like
you got the diamond iconography here. That's cool. You got like these shattering worlds because like what's happening?
Yeah.
What's happening? It's like it's an alternative future.
Yeah, it's Age of Apocalypse.
Like, listen, if you've read X-Men, like this is 100%. You're used to this stuff.
Yeah,
like this is
that's
just
true.
like
if you're an X-Men fan, you know what this
is. This is like a what if, but it's X-Men, so you're like, oh, I mean that happened.
Yeah, no, it's Age of Sinister.
Like
that's exactly what this is.
That's what this is. Like, what does Sinister do? Well, if you were reading Immortal X-Men, Sinister managed to kill the 4 people he needed to kill on the Quiet Council to get his stuff going on because he's secretly been lacing everyone's DNA with his own. But the thing that was stopping it was Hope.
Yes.
Whatever Hope's ability was taking it out and it was like purifying everybody's thing, so it wasn't really working.
Right.
Now, admittedly, we saw like in this Professor X's narration is that like the plan was one day to not need Sinister anymore.
Yes, we're gonna write him out.
And you know, we don't want to do is deal with him anymore for a lot of reasons. 1, he's evil. 2, his name is Mr. Sinister.
Yeah, should have never dealt with him in the first place.
And 3, he's just a sassy man with a beautiful cape.
Yeah.
At least according to him. I could not handle that thing. It's just too many pieces.
I'm glad he's doing it. I wouldn't want to have to deal with it myself.
Like I'm glad I can look at it, but like do not put it on me.
Yeah.
And so like having been able to take Hope out means that someone else had to do the resurrection protocols. So we utilized Sync in a really amazing set of panels. Yeah. Like that is such a tragic, like Sync, man, Sync is quickly becoming a favorite character of mine because of the Krakoan era. Like he legitimately, like I feel for this man a lot.
Yeah. He's been through the ringer
and he's been stepping up. And like, I really hope
he gets that his day in the sun.
I really hope he and Laura work out and it's not some like just nightmare scenario waiting for him. Like just just please, Sync, you got to make it, man. I really like you. But Sync really steps up in order to help bring hope back with the help of the Cuckoos, because like we got no psychics.
No Emma.
I mean, we got psychics, but
not,
no one
not like that.
We don't have Emma. We don't have Exodus. We don't have Charles. All the psychics are down. The main ones, right? But when they all come back, they're tainted, and now they're like essentially Sinister clones.
Yep.
Like he's in them, but he had to leave part of their personality so they could keep playing out
the roles
they needed to play out.
Yeah.
So that Sinister could end up being in charge and playing the field. And we're watching him not only taint Krakoa, but also the world itself.
Yeah, he proposes, or makes them propose, a suggestion where it's like, we should just expand our resurrection protocols to the rest of the world. Make everybody be open to this. And so essentially they do. And then it makes it, perpetuate throughout. And
and that the idea here is like, how will they do that? Well, you have to be injected with this like X gene, which just gets he's just getting everybody in this way. Like it's a fairly brilliant, horrifying plan, right? But like, because it's Sinister, what his greatest falling will be is his own ego, and clearly we're seeing that.
Yeah, we're seeing him sow his own seeds of destruction.
Right.
It's also fun because, like, hey, listen, like, I don't know what kind of pull Kieran Gillen has on Marvel, but we kind of go forward a couple of years. Like we go through time a little bit.
Yeah.
And Ben Urich goes to meet with J. Jonah Jameson, who's in charge of the Daily Bugle again. And I'm like, could you please make that happen? Does that mean that's where we're going? Also, Ben Urich decides to dress like Rorschach, which I think is hilarious.
Right.
But no. So
that's only 1+ year.
Yeah,
that's
1 year in the future.
He's like
J. Jonah Jameson is in charge of the Daily Bugle again. All right, let's go. But yeah, no. So everybody's Sinister. Like
not everybody.
No,
because the one person he couldn't get was Storm because of her resurrection protocol thing, and I love that because Gillen's pulling on everything that's been going on in X-Men Red with like her connection with the people of Araco, the bonds that she's built there. That's how she's gonna get herself out of this situation, and I love that.
It's a dope moment.
I also love just pulling Storm into this in this way because obviously there's gonna be a book. It's I think 3 issues called Immoral X-Men. Nightcrawlers. Is it Immoral that she's going to be, or is it's the Brotherhood?
I don't remember.
I think hers is Brotherhood. Hang on, I can just go to the back because there's
a little checklist.
Little checklist right. Yeah, Storm and the Brotherhood of Mutants.
There you go.
But I love that too because it again makes me think of future Storm, Mohawk Storm. It makes me conjure all those ideas. And I think we're meant to think about those types of things for sure.
We're talking about alternate realities and futures and stuff like that, so we want to show you
exactly. He creates a scenario in which they are able to make it look like Orcus has attacked them, and so that lets humanity turn on Orcus, which I love. There's something very satisfying about that moment. Just eat it.
Watch the Avengers take down Orcus.
The Avengers are there helping out, taking down Nimrod. Moira's this is not supposed to be happening.
Part of the plan.
What? I really adore that moment between Cap and Cyclops.
Yes.
Where it's oh God, Cap's going down. We don't have to see everything. You already know what's happening, right? The fact that Sinister making the Quiet Council and essentially all him is kind of a problem because they're all him.
Yeah.
And who can't you trust? Well, you cannot trust
Sinister.
A Sinister.
So they're all Sinister. Yeah. Oh, they also they lobotomize Krakoa itself.
Yes.
So Krakoa will release Sinister and also not cause problems for them.
Exactly. How much did you love the fact that Doom will not buy into this? Obviously,
Doom's
he never
no.
would. Namor is taken down by it and kills Doom, but there's a Doom bot.
There's a Doom bot.
There's a Doom bot who's I'm Doom.
Yeah, I love it.
Of course.
Good.
I freaking adore that, right? Juggernaut is no more.
Uses a bullet to kill Thanos.
I was a little sad that Gillen immediately pulls out of the box Uranos. They use Uranos here.
Well, it's just reminding you, one day we will use Uranos.
Yeah, because technically they'll still have it.
Yeah.
Right? But, it's used to take down the Eternals themselves. And I really, and again, this is just Gillen. He seems to have a real passion for the Eternals. He's got a soft spot for it. But I love that moment of, Uranos sits forever alone in his cell in the heart of the earth, caked in the blood of his family. He smiles. I was like, I love Uranos so much, and I don't want it to be a scenario in which it's Uranos is actually a bigger bad than Thanos. I like him just as a different villain. He's just a different kind of guy. You got Thanos over there. Thanos is doing his thing.
Yep.
Get him back on that whole I am in love with death.
Yes.
Make that a thing. Yes. And then there's Uranos who's just this. I'm just very efficient at what I do.
Exactly. Yeah.
I am a murder machine.
Yeah. He's the best at what he does.
Yes.
Yeah, I mean, we see how every corner of the Marvel universe is taken down and
Yes.
falls. And like, by the way, I can already feel the outrage of people being like, "How would that happen?" And I'm like, Days of Future Past is 2 issues.
Yeah.
The Avenger, we don't even get panel space of what happens to the Avengers. Their names on graves.
Yes.
So
and this
like,
is and don't forget, this is all also within the, like, Sinister has like a plan, because he's just like, well, I'm gonna get as far as I can get, and then I'm going to use my save scumming abilities to
Yeah.
go back and build off of what I learned to get it right this time.
yes.
So like, we're progressing quickly because Sinister's like, I mean,
I got it.
this doesn't matter. I'm gonna just reboot this anyway when it goes wrong, because it's gonna go wrong.
yeah, and then I'll be able to do that and fix that. And,
Exactly.
yeah.
And then it literally is just like, he can't.
No,
It's like, uh-oh.
that's the big moment.
That's the big moment. Uh-oh. Also, Storm gets away.
Yeah, Storm gets away, but and so she becomes like public enemy number 1. He goes chasing out. Years go by, and he's like chasing Storm and constantly looking for her.
Which again makes me think of like other
other X-Men futures.
Yes,
but yeah, I love the
she's
moment.
got Wanda posters.
Mhm.
Okay.
I love the moment where at the end where it's like
Yeah.
he goes to it. He's like, okay, it didn't work, because the idea was the quiet council of himself, but in other bodies, is like, we should go into space.
Yeah, we should do. We got our own ideas.
We should take over space. And he's like, no. And then they're like, well, we outvoted you. And he's like, okay, I'm rebooting.
Yep.
So he goes to his lair, and all the Moiras are gone. His entire lab has been scrubbed. It's gone. He's like, I'm stuck here.
Uh-oh.
Oh no.
Oh no.
It's almost like I'm an asshole.
It's almost like I can't.
I'm untrustworthy.
That can't be. I'm not the problem.
Oh wait, it's me. Taylor Swift was right.
Yeah.
But yeah, so and key moments are great. Like, there's no more Wanda, which is cool.
That moment was like, I love that, because he's just like, just in case.
And no.
Yeah, like that's like,
Yeah.
but that's like little like winky moments. And Sinister's the kind of character, he's not quite a fourth wall breaking character.
He's almost there.
He's on the borderline. He's not quite like, if you're like Deadpool drives you crazy, Sinister you'll be fine with.
Yes.
Like, you'll be like, okay,
everything works within his own. Like,
yeah, because like
existence.
Sinister just loves himself. Like,
Yeah.
he thinks he's the greatest like thing that's ever existed.
Mhm.
I really enjoyed this, and it's on a very different level than Axe was. If like Axe wasn't something for you, you're like, I don't want an event, there's too many things going on with it. Sins of Sinister is just like, it's kind of a weird little love letter to Sinister,
Yeah.
because it's just like, what these guys, these 3 guys, so it's Ewing, Spurrier, and Gillen, they're gonna be the 3 guys working on this book. That's it. It's just them, right? So if you want to follow along with this, you're gonna have to do the, like, we're doing a timeline thing too, which again, very in keeping with Krakoa. This is just
And
the 3
X-Men.
and X-Men, but it's like the 3 of them going like, hey, listen, I know Hickman's not here anymore. We're maybe not even on the planet anymore, but we're still gonna think about what was set up in the past. Hawks and Pox launches. What do? We tell the current story leading up, like, or leading up to like Krakoa right now, and we tell the far-flung future, right?
Yes.
We see all these different
We're doing Pox.
moments, right? So like, we're gonna do like year 10, year 100, year 1000. So you need to have read Sins of Sinister. Then you're gonna pick up Storm and the Brotherhood of Mutants, Nightcrawlers, and Immoral X-Men. Each of those titles will have 3 issues. That's it. And then there's gonna be an end issue. Sins of Sinister Dominion number 1. That's it. You're
Mhm.
done. You're
Yep.
done. It's 11 issues. If you want to be involved, trust me. I like
It's all happening over there.
Yeah, it's just these 3 books. So those books, though, for right now, are on hiatus.
Yeah.
Like, they're not,
So they're just gonna wait until the book's over, and then they'll come back.
right. I don't think X-Men Red. I don't know.
I
if
don't know
that's
about
coming
X-Men
out.
Red, but we'll see.
But I know like Immortal X-Men. We're gonna do Immoral X-Men for right
Yes.
now. So again, I don't think of this as an event because of the fact that events are a 4-letter word for a lot of people.
Mhm.
Axe clearly was an event. It was all over the place. It was far-reaching. This is just here's 3 guys coming together to tell a story.
Yeah.
Think of it more like a crossover with a focus of Sinister.
Yeah.
Right? Because Mr. Sinister, if we're doing Fall of X already, we're bringing Apocalypse. Apocalypse is going to be in charge, or not charge, a part of something.
Yep.
It's going to overshadow a lot of the other potential villainous stories, right? We
Sure.
threw Exodus on the team, and I'm really hoping one time or at some point somebody does something. He doesn't have to be villainous,
No.
but like, he was just kind of stepping up in terms of his like fanaticism now for Hope. I'm like, oh, okay, we're gonna do something interesting with Exodus. He doesn't have to be a villain. He doesn't have to have that moment. But like, Sinister was getting set up for this, so I'm
That
really
was
glad.
always from the beginning.
Yes, I was like, there's no way you can't trust this man.
Yeah.
No one did. They threw him on the Quiet Council anyway because they needed him. They were using him,
Yeah.
and that was going to come to fruition. And here we are. So I'm glad we're doing something with him.
Yeah.
It doesn't have to be a big thing. Don't think of it like an event. It's up to you if you want to read it. If you want like more Sinister, this is where you're going to get it. I'm here for it. But again, I really like these 3 writers.
Yeah.
So I'm like, you know what? Tell me the story, guys. I'm here for it.
Right.
And it's other than potentially the like ramifications of leaning into Fall of X and Sinister itself, like we're gonna play around. You know, we're gonna see some fun stuff. Like you're gonna see things that like may or may not even matter, because the fact is he has a bunch of Moiras and it's gonna be reset, and it's just what's the ramifications of this going to be?
Yeah.
Right. Like
how are they gonna deal with him? And they're gonna have to take him off the board after this, because this is his most high profile.
Yep.
So yeah, recommend.
I high recommend for me for sure.
Jose Rivera, always wanted John Lithgow as the ventriloquist. Yeah, he'd be good. I like John Lithgow. He's a fun actor.
You can have him do it now.
Yeah. Brian Lewis 97, lots of love to everyone at ComicPop. Thanks very much, Brian. I've been with the channel since the Daredevil Born Again episode, and all your content only gets better and better. Thank you very much. That's good to know. I appreciate it, man.
That's very nice to hear.
You know, we I don't want to stagnate, so I appreciate it, man. Thank you so much. All right, let's recommend some comics that are coming out this week that we think you should check out.
Which one did you think Chichetto drew? I was wondering that.
I think it's that one.
I thought it was that
I think
too.
it's Namor and
it looked great. I mean, it all looks good.
Yeah, it does. But very different.
Yeah.
So okay, recommendations. Dark Web finale number 1 is coming out. I'm obviously going to read this. I have to know how it ends and how it wraps up. So we're going to talk about that later on. And that's and Quick Stops number 4. I think this is the penultimate or ultimate issue of the series. Apparently it's like a mini. I'd heard that it's like, you know, we'll see. So I guess we will. So that's Quick Stops number 4. If you like Kevin Smith stories that are clearly just old scripts he wrote or scenes that he wrote from like 10, 15 years ago, then you might enjoy it. I do. How about you, Tivy?
Oh, okay. How do I do this? Thank you. X-Force number 37 is coming out, written by Ben Percy with art by Chris Allen. Or no, that's not what it says on the cover. It says Gil on the cover. So ignore this and just listen to what I said instead. This is really dealing in like not necessarily with Beast, but you know what? It is going back to a couple of threads that they had from the beginning of this. So listen, Percy's been going for 37 issues, and my hat's off to him, but not really, because I want you to see my Sinister diamond under here. But yeah, so like this is one of the longer running Krakoan era series, so
right,
good on you.
Yep.
Legion of X number 10 is coming out, written by Cy Spurrier. I am wondering what we're going to be doing here, because again, Cy's got another book coming out as well, so I don't know.
We'll find out.
Nimrod. Listen,
good.
Like what happened last time with Legion and Xavier. Yeah.
Yeah, that's true.
I just want to give a shout out to this because a lot of people really like this. I will probably pick this up to check it out, but I just want to remind people that Scarlet Witch number 2 is coming out, written by Steve Orlando with art by Sarah Pacelli. A lot of folks really responded to this. I read it. I didn't like grab me, but I was like, okay, cool. You know,
see where it goes.
There was a big reveal at the end. Vision showing up, needs some help, so we'll see where that goes, right? There was a couple of other things I was going to
Moon
mention.
Knight number 20 is coming out.
Where did you see that?
It's number 1.
Oh, Moon Knight. Oh my gosh, I didn't even recognize it. Moon Knight number 20 is coming out, of course, written by Jed McKay with art by Alessandro Capuccio. So, you know, looks like it's guest starring Blade. So, you know, just because Jed McKay's like, and I would also like to write a Blade book. But there is another Blade book coming out, so if you want to read that,
Daughter of Blade,
number 1 will be coming out this week, so you can check that out. Demon Wars, Dawn in Flames. Down in Flames. Listen, I want all kinds of dawns and downs.
That's true. So many dawns.
So many dawns. Down in Flames. This is part 3 of Into the Spirit World. Written by Peach Momoko, art by Peach Momoko. Don't trust this website.
It's garbage.
The Approach number 4 is an indie book I really like that has snow horror in it, written by Jeremy Hahn and Jason Hurley, with art by Jesus Hervas. It is a little bit of a decompression last time, but I'm still on board. I want more. Please give me more of that. This is just something I wanted to open up and look at myself. Okay. I don't think this is anything I necessarily
want to recommend.
Yeah, just, you know. Just wanted to see what it was.
Yep.
So yeah, there's a whole bunch of things coming out for me next week, and apparently not as much for Sal, but that's fine.
That's true. Yeah,
I like these books.
I like the light weeks. I'll take it. Black Phoenix 77. Who do you think has the biggest character assassination, Donald Blake or the Beast? That's a tough question. I would have to say Beast, because Beast has been, Donald Blake got it from one story arc, really like changed Donald Blake, upsetting like 4 people, and Beast has been beaten savagely for years. So, yeah, and then there's this thing.
What is this?
This is originally published in 1995.
Are they re-releasing something?
I think they are.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
They're re-releasing Gargoyles Facsimile Edition #1, originally published in 95, written by Martin Pasco with art by Amanda Connor. Is that right? Can that be right?
It could very well be right, yes.
Oh, man, my
Right?
wallet's going to be
Interesting.
hurting.
Yeah, that's true.
Ow.
But listen, we want to thank you all so much for hanging out with us, and we'll see you guys next time with an all-new episode of Off the Rack here on ComicPop Returns. Help us out, subscribe to the channel, like the video, and we'll see you guys next week. And hey, this Wednesday, new episode of Back Issues coming out. Watch it, okay? That's all I'll say. And especially check out the ending, because the conversation afterwards, a lot of fun, really gets into the nitty-gritty about like interpretation and so forth. I think you're really going to enjoy it. Also watch Tiffany on twitch.tv/ComicPop and subscribe to youtube.com/ComicPop Plays to check out streams. Tiffany just finished up Last of Us, or at least she did years ago, but here it is now. And we're launching Batman Arkham Origins as the new stream. So check out that over on that channel as well. And we'll see you guys next time with an all new episode. I'm Sal.
And I'm Tiffany.
So long, everybody. Thanks a lot for watching.
Bye.
Bye.